Welcome to The Talk with Connie. I am Adam Scott. This week my mother spoke with Chris Childers, a cast member on A&E's hit show What It's Worth with Jeff Foxworthy, and she talked to the young adult fantasy and horror author Marlena Frank. Hang around, it all starts after these messages. And Connie recently spoke with Chris Childers. Chris is the owner of Chris Childers Auctions and Estate Sales and a cast member on the A&E show What It's Worth with Jeff Foxworthy. He is 43 years old of buying and selling experience with over 12 years as a licensed auctioneer in Georgia. With experience in appraising everything from cars, musical instruments, coins, and vintage advertising, Chris specializes in brokering big-ticket items and matching buyers with sellers. In addition to auctioneering, Chris also consults and provides props for movies and television shows such as Stranger Things, Vampire Diaries, Jumanji, and many more. Now here's a look at their chat.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, how are you, Connie?
Good. By the time this runs, the season finale of your show with Jeff Foxworthy, What's It Worth, will have already aired, but people will be able to go on and see it through the various ways that people do that.
A&E on demand, A&E.com, and also your and you can go on and watch all the episodes. Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go catch back up on them.
It's a great show, and it's family friendly. Everybody can sit and watch it from 8 to 80. I mean, really, we made the show for everybody. So
yeah, I can see that. And now look, I was reading that you have 43 years of buying experience and 12 as an auctioneer. How did you get into all of this?
I started when I was 7 years old. I started out, I traded an old Mickey Mantle baseball card. I got some money and I got some more cards. And I'm like, this is great. And so I was hooked. And then after that, it's just been buying and selling and learning and taking it to a different level. And that's what I've done. So.
And it's wonderful when you can make a living doing what you like, right?
Absolutely. I'm so blessed and lucky to be able to do that, because not only do I do the appraisals on the show, I do appraisals in real life, I buy and sell, and I also do movie props. And that's one just a complete different aspect, but it's all the same thing.
Oh my gosh. I know people who are on some of the shows that you, or who have been on some of the shows that I read that you did. Jumanji interested me. My sons are actors and they did 21 Days on Jumanji. So you have actually crossed paths at some point.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny is I actually had a friend of mine contact me and go, hey, remember the scene? They had a scene in a basement and I said, yeah. Was that your stuff? I was like, how'd you know? Like, we just know it's you.
I love it. What you do, like Vampire Diaries and those types of shows? What have you done?
Well, what we actually did, my brother and I, we actually went up. They needed ox carts for a Vampire Diaries spinoff called The Legacy. Yeah. And they needed ox carts. Well, trying to find ox carts in America is slim to none. So we actually bought an old wagon, 1800 Studebaker wagon, cut it apart, built the frames out of old barnwood on the top of it, and they put them on the set. The director comes on, and they were going to burn them. That was their intent, was to just burn them. Yeah. And he walks on the set, goes, there's no way we're burning these. They're too nice. But they fit the show, and I think they ended up burning the small one. But the big one, it's in their archives now.
So cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a treasure hunt, really, isn't it?
For me, and a lot of people will tell you the same thing. It's the hunt. It's not the selling or reselling or whatever. It's that find. It's being able to dig it out of the barns and being able to pull it out of the basements. And hey, I got something here. And that's the juice. That's what keeps us going.
It sounds like crazy fun to me. But you seem like a real creative person. I can relate to that.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm always thinking about what would fit a show and what would do here. And that's been my life for a lot of years, and I love it. I wouldn't do anything else.
Now, did I see a picture of you with Lisa Marie Presley on your Facebook? What?
Yes.
You met the King's daughter.
I was in Las Vegas doing. I was actually there as a sponsor for this thing called Save the Music, and VH1 put this thing out called Divas Live, and there was a party outside the MGM Grand, and there was only 100 of us, and she comes in, and I'm just like. I'm usually not starstruck, but I was starstruck with her. And I went over and talked to her. She couldn't have been sweeter to me and signed my pass. And just so awesome. Such an awesome person.
Beautiful. She
is. She looks like her dad, and she's about 3 feet tall. No, I'm kidding. She's short, but she's, of course, anybody's short to me. I'm 6'3", but she's just an awesome person.
Tell me, what is one of your most favorite finds?
You know, there's been some of them. My favorite things are things that end up in museums and not by my intention. But like I bought a tobacco box, a tobacco pail that they used to carry the tobacco in, and then when it was over, the kids would carry their lunch in it to school.
I think I've
And
heard that. Yeah.
yeah, and so I was looking on this table at this auction, and I'm looking, and I pulled one up, and I said, this is something special. I don't know what told me that, but it's just years of, I guess, doing this. So I paid $20 for it, and I put it in my auction, and lo and behold, the Kentucky State Museum, History Museum, came down here and bought that. They said, we don't have this, and that's the whole thing. They didn't have it, so they took it back. Well, I had other instances. I had a Ken doll, the original Ken doll, in the box, and I had Alan, the other guy. I had him in the box, and this lady came, and when I started auctioning them, she stood up with her hand raised. That's the international sign of keep going, I'm not stopping. And she rode those things until, I mean, they went for several $100s each. She said these are going to the Barbie Museum, and I was just flipped out because I found them.
Oh, I like that.
And I love that kind of stuff. Like, we had for another instance, we had some soldiers, some pictures of some soldiers, and they were from the West Point area. Well, the West Point Museum came and got those. So, I mean, it's just, that's my favorite things. I found some things that were big money, and I found some other, but to be able to find stuff that, I liked that went in museums, that's just incredible, for me.
I think that would really get me going too. I like that. Oh, anything Barbie. That's great. Hey,
Yeah,
every time to kiss in Barbie, let me know.
Okay.
It's my favorite in the 80s, like the early 80s.
Yeah.
Her head's off. I think my little sister chewed her foot up, but I was play that kissing Barbie because she was special to me.
Yes, Barbie, and I've actually found the original Barbie. I found the second Barbie, all those. And then, the clothing and all that stuff, it's still very popular. The newer stuff, not so much, but the old stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's timeless. Well, before we go, I definitely want to ask you, what is it like working with Jeff Foxworthy, and how much do you enjoy working on that show, if you do?
Oh yes. I'm gonna tell you, the first time we spoke on just like we're doing, because of COVID, he and I hit it off. We had such a rapport. And if you'd have told me even a year ago, that I'd be making Jeff Foxworthy laugh, I would have went, there's no way. And some of the outtakes of the show, we are laughing so hard because it's just crazy stuff that we think of on the fly. And we just have such a good time. And I'm going to tell you what, he is off screen just like he is on screen. He is a great human being, and funny as all get out.
Oh, I bet. I love comedians. I bet you can be pretty funny too.
Well, I try to be, and that was the thing. Like I said, Jeff and I, we have such a rapport, and we just bounce off each other, and and he just, and I just never imagined I'd make him double over with laughter.
Oh.
I mean, that's just too cool.
It'll be fun if you end up in one of his routines, one of his skits out there.
You know what? It's possible. It's possible. There's anything with him, but he just, we had some interesting stuff. And in fact, on the season finale, I'm not sure when this is airing, but on the season finale, we did some joking around. Of course, we joke around the whole time, but there was some real good stuff. And so yes.
Well, I'm going to be watching it, but I got to catch up on the other ones first.
Yes, please do. I tell you, the highlights for me, some of the highlights were the Woodstock jackets that were owned by the head of security for Woodstock.
Oh, wow.
And they were mint. And the granddaughter had a T-shirt as well. And Grandpa was well known in the law enforcement community as well as the security community. I knew who he was before we even did the show. And I told her that. And she got so emotional because she said, he's just telling us everything that we knew about our grandfather. And that did it for me. And for those jackets to be worth $25,000, that floored me. That floored them. And so
Woodstock, who wouldn't have wanted to be there?
Yeah, and they actually only made about 80 something jackets and shirts, but only about 40 of them got used. And so they're pretty rare. And then his are mint, they look like they just came from the printer. And
wow.
Just really intense, just really cool. And so, yeah.
That sounds like fun. And
yes.
I can't wait to see it, seriously.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything you want to say before we go? You get the last word.
Well, thank you. You know, if you want to, I still do appraisals. I still do estate sales. I still do auctions. You go to, you know, chrischilders.com. I'm sorry, Chris Childers Auctions and Estate Sales, and just type it in, and it'll pull up what information we have. You can find us on. You find us on Facebook. You can find us everywhere. And check us out, A&E.com, A&E on demand, and you will enjoy the show, I promise.
I know it. I know it. Everybody else tune in. And Chris, thanks again. The rest of you, I'll be right back.